Hello, Diggory Hadoke here in Botswana at the HQ of Savannah Sky Safaris, and Richard Peake, the young PH who's the co-owner of Savannah Sky, has an interesting rifle made by John Rigby, and this is the second time I've come across this rifle in 17 years. We were here back in 2007, and this was then being used by another young professional hunter, Mark Kiriakou. And the rifle itself has had a very long and interesting history here. First of all in Tanzania, in the hands of a game warden, somebody in the Parks Department doing elephant and buffalo control, I would suspect. He brought it here and sold it to Richard's father in 1970. So we know that this rifle's been in Africa probably most of its life. First through, we can trace it back to Richard's father, Neville, and then it was owned by Mark Kiriakou, then George Kiriakou, and Richard has now bought it back. It's what they call the long bar Webley action Anson and Dealey 470 Nitro Express by John Rigby and Co. Rigby sold these in the 1930s catalogue for about a third of what it cost to have a sidelock Rising Bite rifle. It's also a treble grip like the Rising Bite, but it's a different system. If you have a look at the bite here, if you bring the camera in slightly so we can see it clearly. There's a bite in the doll's head there, which is engaged by a turning lever, which bolts into that. We also have the twin bolting Purdy underbolt there. So we have 3 points of lockup, and although this rifle's been in service in Africa for 90 years in the hands of professional hunters, it still locks up tight. If we take the gun apart, we can see that it uses Rigby's favoured double rifle latch, which is the Charles Harvey patent, which Rigby quickly adopted as their preferred system of holding the fore end on. Underneath it, steel barrels, proofed for cordite, standing ramp rather, and 2 leaves, and then a foresight. The action itself, as you can see the bolting system there with the third bite there, is stamped C quality. So Rigby made these in B and C quality, but they described them as a best quality constructed rifle, but plainly finished, to appeal to people like professional hunters and game scouts and rangers. And this is very much what Rigby are using in their current model, the Shikari, which you may have heard of, which is based entirely on this rifle. So what Rigby did was take one of these and copied it as closely as they could, using modern techniques and modern steels, and improving where they could. But essentially, if you look at a modern Rigby Shikari, which was launched in 2024 at Dallas Safari Club, it's exactly the same profile, same type of stock, same third bite action. And we know now these things, in the hands of professional hunters in Africa, where they get rough treatment, they're not closet queens. These can do 90 years of solid service. The bore on this is worn, but it still shoots straight. And that really was the inspiration when Rigby came up with their Shikari. They wanted to produce a professional hunter grade, reliable, proven design to furnish professional hunters and sport shooters of the future who want to buy into the Rigby ethos of producing these fit-for-purpose rifles but don't necessarily have the £150,000 plus that it requires to buy a rising bite, first quality rifle. So here we are, 90 years in the African bush, still doing good service in the hands of a professional elephant hunter.